at you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile? Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Anne, and this is Postcards from Our Golden Years. I'm so happy to see you. And today we have a very interesting video. So as you can see, I'm sitting on a couch. It's our brand new couch. And yes, it arrived, I think it arrived about a week ago. And yes, I know so many of you have been asking for a tour of our apartment. We didn't want to give you a tour of the apartment with a hodgepodge of stuff in it. And we rented a furnished apartment. Not all of the furniture here in the apartment was to our liking. So over these past couple of months, we've had to take the stuff that we could get out of the way and hide it in a closet or hide it under a bed or hide it somewhere so that we could then bring in our own new stuff or stuff that's coming from the US. And when we finally get everything in our boxes, by the time you're seeing this, our boxes will have already been delivered. As we speak, I just got notification that our boxes from the US are finally going to be delivered tomorrow. So that's like over 60 boxes and a small lingerie chest and a giant picture that was on the wall in my dining room that has traveled with me since the 1980s. So anyway, all of those things are going to be arriving sometime tomorrow afternoon. And once we get everything put away and our apartment looks nice and we're proud of the way it looks and, you know, all those little finishing touches have been added, you will be the first people that we take on a tour of the apartment. So just be patient, hang in there. You are seeing the top part of the couch, and I love this couch. I'll tell you more about it when we do the tour. So grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, a glass of wine, depending on where you are in the world when you're watching this. Sit back and relax, and let's get started. Something many of you have asked is, not just here on YouTube, but on Facebook forums and things, people want to know, now that we've done the move, what things should we have moved with? What things did we move with, we're glad that we moved with, that other people said, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And what things did we not move it? I wish we had thought about that before we came. So let me get into that. My pots. Now, before we moved, if you've been following along in our journey, I went through my entire kitchen and I either sold or donated, I want to say probably 90% of the contents of our kitchen cabinets, drawers. I mean, we got rid of a lot of it. There were some little pieces that I really liked. Like I had a little set of dessert dishes that I liked, and I had a set of my mother's flatwares. It was silver plate, but it was in a box, and I never really used it. I kept it around the house, but you know, she gave me the silverware to use when she went into a nursing home, and I just sort of kept it out of sight. So knowing that I was coming here and was going to pretty much have to start out fresh, I thought, you know what, I'm going to bring that box of silver plate, flatware, and it's a beautiful pattern, and I'm going to use it here. Why not? And although the owner of this apartment was very nice, and she gave us dishes and glasses and wine glasses, and the drawers have some silverware and cooking utensils and pots and things. She gave us, in the silverware, it was, you know, I'll be honest, it was a cheap set of silverware she threw in here just to be able to say she fully equipped the kitchen. So it only has 6 forks. Well, if Jeff and I get up in the morning on any given day and I cut up some fruit for breakfast, we use those forks for breakfast. And if we have something for lunch, we may use the forks. And then if we eat at home, well, for sure we're going to use the forks. So I'm constantly running the dishwasher because we run out of forks, even if the dishwasher is not full like I would do it typically back in the US. So it's going to be nice when this flatware comes to actually, I'm going to take it out of the box that I had been storing it in, and we have a new cabinet that we bought for the kitchen, and it's going to go in that cabinet, and that's going to be our everyday silverware. And the stuff that our landlord gave us, well, I'm going to clear that out of the drawer, put it in a box, put it in the closet, and if and when the day ever comes that we leave, of course, we'll leave her with all of this stuff that she had been nice enough to fill the kitchen with. So there is that. And it's more of a sentimental thing. I mean, you don't need to bring your own silverware. I just wanted to do it because for years I had this silverware and I never used it. So anyway, so there is that. The next thing people said to me when we were still living in Florida, sell your pots, get rid of your pots. There was one smart woman who had already moved to France from the United States who had good pots like I do, and they're all clad or Cavallon pots. To be honest, I didn't buy them. They were given to me as wedding presents for, you know, 2 marriages, the first 2 marriages. And so I didn't have to pay for them, but I knew how expensive they are. Actually, I think I did buy some little pieces to fill in. But I know that those pots were, I think there was one of them was like well over $100, close to $200 in the US years ago, many years ago. So I thought about, well, should I bring them? Should I not bring them? And then when I started thinking about it, it was like, well, yeah, of course I'm going to bring them because I don't want to have to spend hundreds, if not $1,000 to go buy another set of really good pots. Yes, we have pots that the landlord here gave us. They're cheap pots, and we sort of figured out if our cooktop is induction or not. The pot she gave us say induction on the bottom, but Jeff doesn't believe the stove is an induction stove. My pots are not induction pots, but we'll give it a try. And if it turns out that these pots are not going to be able to be used on our stove, well, I'll deal with it when the time comes. But it was worth it for us to pack the box of pots. And it fit in, I mean, all of our boxes are medium-sized boxes. We did not use the largest moving boxes. And just as an aside, I'll tell you why we didn't do that, because the elevators here in France are not huge. So we wanted to make sure that if a mover is carrying a box, it's not going to weigh a ton, and that they could easily stack boxes in the elevator on top of each other. If we had used the largest U-Haul boxes we could find, they have to hand carry everything up all the flights of steps. And we're not that high, but still it adds to the cost of moving. So you have to think about that. So another thing that I should have done but didn't learn about it until late was sheets and towels. Sheets and towels are expensive here in Nice. And I had started selling or donating all of our sheets and towels months before we left. And by the time we left, I only had 1 or 2 sets of sheets for our beds and some towels. And at the last minute, when I had come here, I guess, back at the end of November. We moved in April, but I came at the end of November, and I was speaking with someone who said, oh my gosh, bring your towels and bring sheets because they cost a lot of money here. By then it was too late, but what I did do is pack what I had left at the end. So, I mean, sheets here, you could spend easily, not on designer, you could easily spend 50 or 60 euros on just one sheet. And if that's just the fitted sheet, then you've got the flat sheet, and pillowcases are expensive. So look online, get the size for queen size sheets, get the size for king size sheets. Try to figure out what kind of bed you're going to buy if you're coming with no bed and you're going to go shopping. In our case, we bought what is the equivalent of a queen size US bed. So unfortunately, the sheets I packed are king size because we had a king size bed in the US, but there's at least one flat sheet. So even if you're not going to go for the same size bed that you have in the US, bring flat sheets, because at least you'll save yourself on buying half the set of sheets. Bring neutral flat sheets. When we went shopping for sheets for our brand new bed, I bought a really wonderful set of sheets over at Galerie Lafayette, and they were really expensive sheets that I happened to get on sale, but I intentionally did not buy the flat sheet. Instead, I went on Amazon and I ordered a flat sheet that sort of color coordinated with the sheets. It was a solid color. And the fancy set of sheets has flowers and leaves and things in it. So I bought us a set of, or not a set, but I bought us one green, sort of an olive green flat sheet that goes really nicely with that set that I bought. So think ahead in that regard. Also, pillows here are square shaped, but you can get rectangular pillows on Amazon. So I'm not saying that you should move with your pillows, but when you get here, if you don't like the square pillows, just order them on Amazon, and Amazon has pillowcases as well, and their sheets are less expensive than Galerie Lafayette. I have not ordered anything other than that one flat sheet, which was a decent quality. So sheets, towels, good pots. I also packed, in the US, I packed crystal. I kept, we had, I guess, about a dozen sets of crystal glasses. No, we had a set of crystal glasses, one set, and odds and ends. I packed the one set of crystal glasses where everything matched. And we had some odds and ends of crystal pieces. Like I had a little crystal ice bucket that I packed. And I think I packed a big crystal vase that I had. Also, it was a wedding present. So things that were wedding presents that I didn't buy or spend the money for back in the day, I made sure that I packed those things because I knew if I was going to rebuy something that was of that quality, it's going to cost money. So definitely, if you like your crystal and you don't have to spend money to buy it, unless you're going to go to the brocantes or the flea markets here, it's expensive to buy those kinds of things here. And I didn't want to come to France and just live, there's no other way to say it. I didn't want to just buy a bunch of crap to put in the apartment. I still appreciate fine things, nice dishes and crystal and, all of those things. So you have to decide how you want to live when you get here. Another thing would be over-the-counter medicines. So our mover would not move any over-the-counter things or any soaps or anything that had chemicals in it. So what we did is we came over here, first of all, a month before we actually moved. We came over with the first load of stuff. Once we had already signed the lease in our apartment, we came over at the beginning of March. We each brought 2 large suitcases full of stuff. And in one of those suitcases, I had some spices from our spice cabinet that I specifically liked. Like I had this really large bag of black peppercorns from some remote place of the world, and I didn't want to throw it away. So I threw that in my suitcase. All of the over-counter drugs, things like Zyrtec and Tylenol and Excedrin, Imodium, Aleve, Band-Aids. Band-Aids, that's another thing. I mean, we hardly ever use Band-Aids, but on occasion, when we've been traveling, we've had to go buy Band-Aids because I make the mistake of putting on some new shoes and I end up getting blisters. Band-Aids are expensive here. I had so many Band-Aids back in the US that I just threw them in my suitcase, threw the boxes in my suitcase. So we got those here. In our bathroom, we have 2 medicine cabinets, and one of them was just all of our over-the-counter stuff, and on the bottom shelf I have my prescriptions and things. So I just brought anything that had not expired. Of course, I went through everything before I packed it, so all of the unexpired things came with us. Let's see, on my prescription drugs, I had gone to my doctor towards the end of the month before we moved here for good, and I got 90-day prescriptions for everything. And I'm just finally coming towards the end of those 90 days of prescriptions. But I carried everything in my carry-on bag. I had one backpack and it was loaded with all of my prescriptions in the original bottles, and my doctor had also given me a medical history that had a list of the prescriptions that I take. So it was actually an email, and it had his, company name, business, doctor, office name on it. So if anybody had any questions, it wasn't like I was, selling drugs or anything. There was never even a doubt. As a matter of fact, nobody even stopped us. I had nothing to worry about, but that's what I did to make sure I had enough prescriptions to last. Let's see, what else do we do? Hangers. Hangers are expensive here, but yet they weigh a lot. And I realized that when we came over a month ahead and I had clothes that we were bringing and started hanging things up, we ran out of hangers really fast, and hangers here are not as nice as hangers you get in the US. In the US, my entire closet was done with those black, they're like velveteen hangers, really nice hangers. Fortunately, when we went back, before we came back to stay, I still had a bunch of them in my closet from the last of the clothes that we had to pack. So I packed a bunch of them in my suitcase, but not nearly enough. And so I can tell you that hangers are not, the really nice hangers, so far I have not come across them. I would imagine maybe on Amazon you can get them, I haven't looked. But, so, they weigh a lot, but truthfully, when we were dealing with our mover, we thought that the mover was going to charge us according to the weight, and in the end, he charged us according to volume. So if I had known that, I would have packed our boxes a lot heavier, because they still take up the same amount of space, but they would have been heavier. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could not, anything else that I would recommend you bring if you were thinking about getting rid of everything. I definitely wouldn't do that. Photo albums, I've talked about it in past videos. I got rid of a bunch of our photos, but I did bring a box. Actually, the box came with Send My Bag because I wanted to keep all the boxes that went with the main mover uniform, and the boxes that the pictures were sent in was really like maybe like this. And I sent that with Send My Bags because I wanted it to get here. So pictures. I mean, that's a hard thing to pick. We had family movies. I had converted them to digital, and I tossed the originals before we moved. So I didn't save any of them. I offered them to my brother, and he said he didn't want them, so he got the digital version of the pictures as well, or of the home movies. I can't think of anything else. Okay, what do I miss most? Well, it's just stuff. For example, I miss not having a garbage disposal. I don't think apartments come with garbage disposals anywhere. I've never stayed at an Airbnb that had a garbage disposal, and this apartment that we're renting doesn't have one. So it's like the old-fashioned way. I scrape food. I don't think I've had to do that since I was a child. I think even when I was growing up, my parents had a garbage disposal in the house. So this scraping food before you can wash the dishes, that's new to me. But we do have a dishwasher, so there is that. Our dog misses these dog treats, and thank you to our friends Tina and Drew. They're bringing the dog some of these treats. Bella has been addicted to these things called popcorn, dog popcorn, forever, for her entire life, and she's like 7.5 years old. So I tried to make sure that I came over to France with 2 bags, and the bags are like this. So we just got to the end of one of the bags, and I thought, well, I'll go on Amazon and order some more. Well, Amazon France doesn't carry them, and Amazon US won't ship them to France. So I was going to have somebody, I was going to order them on Amazon.com US and have them shipped to a US address for somebody who was coming over here to France to bring Bella a couple bags of them. Unfortunately, our friends are coming over next month. So thank you to them for bringing 2 bags for Bella. She misses that food. She's already out of that food, and we've tried to give her other food, and she's sort of so-so with that. She really misses her doggy popcorn. And I didn't want to ask people to send it to us because we would pay a duty. So if you sent us dog popcorn, when it gets here, we would end up having to pay tax on it. So we didn't want to have to do that. So people have asked, do we miss having a car? I don't think so. I don't miss having a car. We walk everywhere. We take the tram, and we use our little carts to carry things. Here's Jeff. Jeff, do you miss having a car?
I do not miss having a car because actually every place I need to go to, public transportation gets me there.
Right.
And actually I feel like I'm healthier because every day I'm walking around 10,000 steps.
Yes.
Now when I used to have a car, I would come home from work and I would have maybe 2,000 steps, and I was overweight and I was out of breath. And now that I'm out walking and using public transportation, I feel it's a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah. And you get out of bed earlier.
Well, that's because my little friend here goes off at about 6 or 7 in the morning and comes over and reminds me it's time to get up and go for a walk.
She reminds you. She
does remind me that it's time to go for a walk. So we'll go out first thing when it's still quiet and calm out, and we'll do our lap around the block and then come back.
And are there any things that you miss? I mentioned that I miss having a garbage disposal, and I couldn't think of anything else.
Well, the only thing that when we go to the store and get large quantities of items, we have to pretty much figure out have them delivered, or we have to bring them home in our shopping carts. But usually it's been a workaround, so usually it's worked out so far so good.
Yeah. Do you miss having a garage to put things in?
Well, my garage ended up like sort of junk room. My garage was sort of a junk room. It should have been a garage and a place for 2 cars,
Yes.
but I never realized it was so big that it had 2 cars until we threw everything away and got ready to move to Europe. So it ended up keeping things that I really didn't need to keep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now you tend to use the second bedroom and guest room as like I'll just stick
Catch-all.
it here. I'll just stick it
Catch-all.
here, and then
But-
periodically you.
But once a week, we have to take the guest room
Right.
and clear it out, get the cardboard, whatever's in there as a catch-all, we've got to clear it out and get it out, because in a small apartment, every inch is important. So we don't have that second garage space to just pile stuff up.
Right, right. Oh, I thought of something that I miss. I
What?
miss having a clothes dryer.
Oh yeah.
But they say here the clothes dryers, they don't dry, they just pull the
Moisture.
they pull the moisture out of the fabric, and it has a different feel. So I do like putting our sheets out on the line. I like to bring them in and they smell fresh. The towels, we're not so crazy about them being stiff.
They're sort of crunchy.
Yes.
But in case we need to, there is a laundromat. So if we need to actually wash stuff and run through a dry cycle, we do have a laundromat right close by that
Right.
we can go there and do things.
Right, just practically around the block, and the dryer works really well.
Yes.
Your clothes come out nice and soft, and
Yep.
it's not that expensive.
Right.
So there is that. Oh, and back on the subject of things to bring, if you have those clothes dryer racks, don't bring those. And we were going to go out and buy clothes drying racks. We have them, like there are some attached to the wall outside on our back terrace.
Right.
And we can pull that out, but if we need additional space, we were going to go and buy another one. And these things go from, I don't know, 40 to 50 euros for these things. So I was out on the street, and you know, I'm not proud. Or I'm not too proud to admit this, I should say. I'm not too proud to admit this. I saw one laying in the garbage, and it had more shelves and all kinds of things, and I brought it home. Now it has rust marks on it, so we still have to figure out how to get the rust marks off of the, is it metal or plastic?
Right.
Okay, so I did that, and it's been great to have this additional drying rack. And then Jeff was out. First of all, he teased me for coming home with trash. But then, a few days later,
Yeah.
you came home with one
I found one
in the trash.
in the trash.
And we found it amazing that people just throw these things away. So, if you get here and you don't have a dryer, and most places don't have a dryer,
Right.
don't go buy another drying rack. Use whatever you've got in your apartment if you have something.
Right.
If you wait long enough, on trash night, just walk around your neighborhood and you'll come up with another trash rack or two.
And in the neighborhood, the yellow can is recycling night. That means cardboard goes away.
Right.
And then the other green solid lid can, that is trash night. That's when we find treasures. People put treasures out with the regular trash night.
Well, we don't go trash picking.
Well,
Although things do attract your attention.
things catch my
If
eye.
you saw like a piece of wood that you thought you needed in the kitchen to put.
For trim a baseboard, I found that. And then the other day, I actually saw a Murphy bed thing. I know.
A Murphy bed thing.
It was like a folding Murphy bed with a mattress, but I didn't bring it home.
Good, because we've already got 2 beds in the guest room, and one Jeff has just figured out he's hiding under
the other.
under the double bed, and in order to accommodate that storage mass,
Yeah.
he's buying long legs to make the bed go higher so we have more room under it.
Right.
So, and the one thing that I cannot find here in France is a dust ruffle to cover up all the stuff he's hiding under that bed. So I'm probably going to have to use a flat sheet.
Or I bought some shelf material,
Right.
and I'm going to use the white shelf material, turn it sideways, and make just like a box base under the bed, so it'll be all cleaned up and look nice.
Okay, all right, well, that was a good idea.
That's what I thought.
So is there anything else you miss now that you're here?
No.
We did find peanut butter, so
We did find peanut
that's
butter.
not a problem.
Yeah. We did say when we came here we would spend every day in the blue chairs every morning.
yeah, we haven't done
And I
that.
really haven't done that yet.
In fact, he's finding out that being retired means you can get up whenever you want.
But there's still things to do during the day.
Well, that's the problem. And some days, we have these blinds that are electric blinds that go down on the window, on the outside of all the windows. And I tell Jeff not to put them all the way down at night, because otherwise our bedroom will stay very dark and the entire apartment will stay very dark.
Right.
Sometimes he puts the one in the bedroom all the way down and the bedroom stays very dark. The only thing that does is it keeps the dog from waking up too soon.
Right.
But then we just continue sleeping. There was one day Jeff took the dog out and then came back to bed. I had already gotten out of bed, took a shower, had some tea. It was like nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I walked in and I said, "Are you just going to sleep the entire day?"
Well,
But
the dog and I were.
But it was the first time he had ever done that.
Yes.
And it's okay, because
I'm retired.
he didn't have to be anywhere, and that's the good thing about being here in France.
Right.
Being retired, you don't have to be anywhere. We had no appointments. You
And-
can do whatever you feel like doing on your own schedule.
And dinner doesn't start till like 8 o'clock at night, so you got basically your whole day is pretty well free.
Right? Now, one thing that was an adjustment for us initially, it was dragging the time out until we'd have dinner, because typically the restaurants here don't open until 7 or 8 o'clock.
Right.
So we had been introduced to this thing called apéro.
Oh.
Well, apéro is where you have a glass of wine and maybe some
Chips,
or
little
cheese or prosciutto, melon, a whole bunch of nibbles.
Yep.
And so for a while, in order to get us to that late dinner time,
Right.
we would create our own little apéro
Right.
and sit out on our terrace with wine and a spread of food. And then one night we had so much that we ended up having to turn it into dinner,
Yes.
because I just made so much
Right.
stuff and it was so good. But we've gotten away from that, mostly because I'm still trying to watch my weight. I didn't gain any weight, but I was worried if we keep doing that and then go out and eat dinner, I am going to start gaining weight, and I didn't want to do that. So somehow, now we've been here, by the time we're making this video today, we've been here a little bit over 2 months. And now we're at the point where we don't really start thinking about dinner until about 7 or 7:30.
Right.
We're not like wandering around bumping into each other thinking, "Oh my God, I'm so hungry. We need to have dinner now. We need to have dinner now." In fact, we had dinner last week on the weekend, I think.
Yep.
I ordered a rotisserie chicken to be delivered, and I decided to order it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was here in 20 minutes. So that was the first time in, I want to say, months,
Yep.
that we had dinner at 5:30
On American schedule.
on an American schedule. But we have sort of gotten accustomed now to eating dinner later in the evening. And typically, if we're not already out, I'll make dinner reservations for 8:30, 9 o'clock. Or if we don't have a reservation, we'll go out, start wandering, looking for some place to have dinner about 8 o'clock.
Yep.
So it took a little while, but that's who we are now. We eat late now.
We got the routine.
So yeah, it'll be a problem when people from the US come and visit us, because we may not be hungry when they are, but this is our life here.
There you go.
All right. Anything else you can think of that you miss?
I think that's a
Or
good
that-
update for the moment.
Anything that's been an adjustment for you?
Nope. Nope.
No?
Okay.
The shower? The soap? Well, we don't have like a shower way up. You had to like,
A personal shower.
you
thing.
had to buy like a thing to make our shower higher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's high enough for me to stand under it, but
Right.
you still have to pick it up off the thing.
That's just a workaround thing. That's just the way the apartment came. Our apartment came with a tub with a hand shower unit.
Yes.
rather than like a standard shower head and a shower stall.
Right.
But
So you got a handle for the handheld shower.
Right.
To hang it on.
That made it turn so it would sort of, the shower water came towards the tub, which for you makes a shower head over your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So I think we're good. And I mean, we found a hair salon that we like.
We did.
And
we had I had my first haircut in France.
Yeah, we didn't take any pictures of that though.
That's a
But
haircut.
we did get some video of the hair salon here today.
So Anne, here you are. You've just been to the salon here in Nice for your first touch-up after your move. How did it go?
It went fabulous. Let me tell you, the shampoo chair,
Yes.
was worth the price of admission.
Well,
I would have
okay.
paid double the price. You go into this room, and the lights are very low.
Yes.
And you lay down, and then suddenly your legs rise. The chair becomes like a chaise. And then there is a vibration. Your back is given a massage, a gentle massage for the entire time your hair is shampooed. And you not only get your hair shampooed, but your head is massaged. And above you in the ceiling, there's cutouts in the ceiling with colors that change from one color to another color, and you just lay there. It's like a sensual experience. I told the shampoo person, actually it was more than a shampoo person, she was the one doing my hair most of the time. I told her I would pay money just to come and sit in that chair.
Amazing.
She said that's possible.
Okay, that is possible.
So, anyway, it was a bit of a splurge. It was more than I expected. But I had asked for some conditioning treatments added to my hair. And I asked them to trim my bangs. So I'm very happy. And in spite of the fact that it was more than I wanted to spend,
But the experience
was well worth it.
exceeded expectations.
I get this done every 5 weeks. It's the one thing I have decided I'm just doing it. I'm doing it for myself.
Very good. All right.
Yep.
And I found a salon to get my nails done, actually last month. So, and here's the cute little salon. Amazing because it's this tiny little salon that, I don't know, looks like the size of a large bathroom. But she's got two pedicure chairs in there and a couple of manicure tables. And she's by herself. It's her business. And it's wonderful. So.
Well, look who we have here today. Oh, it's Anne from my postcards from my golden years.
Lisa.
And Lisa? Okay. Bonjour, bonjour. So part of becoming acclimated with the neighborhood in Nice would be to find a good nail salon. So here you go.
She is the only one who does the kind of nails that I want.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So all the Americans come here.
Yes, they do. All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind.
I mean, we're getting settled here.
Yes, we are.
All right.
Okay.
So that's our video this week. We thank you so much for watching. Come back and see us next time, and we will have something else very interesting to share with you about our new lives here in beautiful Nice. So bye for now.